Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back again.
And we're looking at the Hoover Dam, and we're looking at an explosion that occurred at the Hoover Dam. And, do you remember how many times we crossed that? And I always told you I could just envision this just at some point in time going boom. And, all the water escapes.
It would be very devastating. It would be absolutely, horrific. But we have some things going on here that are kind of scary.
And, this is, they say, basically under control at this time. It was a transformer that they say exploded. Perhaps it was overloaded. Obviously, it's super hot. I was telling Cindy, I went to the store, and sure, Texas is hot. The South is hot. But when you've lived in Death Valley before, that's like a different level of hot, and Phoenix and all. It's starting to remind me of that here. It really is getting very, very hot. And I just saw like a notice come through too, like for a burn, no burn condition in our area, because, the drought is expanding. It is expanding. It's expanding. And, if they keep going like they're going, at some point, this is going to cover most of the country.
Mm-hmm. And with all this technology, they're just able to, allow this to happen and then blame it on whatever is convenient.
And what if we had a failure at the Hoover Dam? What if there was no water in there? Then what? Of course, we have Lake Powell. In all these areas, this is getting critical. Absolutely critical. We were talking to some family, and again, that little town in the desert that Cindy's family's from, thankfully there's some underwater springs and actually an underwater river that hopefully hasn't dried up. But, again, if we're counting on the infrastructure, so much of the infrastructure in the U.S. is a total joke. It's a complete joke. And, so much of the other countries that are not third world nations, like, if you go, and I haven't, but I've just seen photographs, and I know from talking to people that are travelers, like our good friend David Devine. He's lived over in Asia for many, many years. When you're talking about Taiwan and Singapore, and you're talking about Abu Dhabi and so many of these other cities that have sprung up, and then you go and drive through New York, it's just night and day. It's night and day. So yes, explosion at the Hoover Dam, transformer catches fire, one of the country's largest hydroelectric facilities. Mega drought sends reservoir to historic lows. Blaze was extinguished in about 30 minutes before fire units arrived from nearby Boulder City. And again, this is right on the border between Nevada and Arizona. No injuries, thankfully. They say there's no risk to the power grid at this time. And power is still being generated from the powerhouse. The A5 transformer caught fire about 10 a.m. and the blaze was extinguished within 30 minutes, and you could see. It's such a beautiful view when you go over and you look down on that expanse of water. But again, we left that area a year and a half ago now, and it's been that long already. And I guarantee you the water is not as high as it was when we went over it last.
No, it's not. And it's just kind of dwindling along with the water. It seems like they're allowing this, everything around it to dwindle too. That's, to me, it feels deliberate in the sense that somebody wasn't checking up on things. There are certain things that are going on here that are being overlooked. So I don't like that feeling that I got from this at all, but it seems like that's happening.
So they are investigating the cause of the fire and will provide additional updates as they are available. It's obviously a very iconic American structure. It's a piece of critical infrastructure, and it's been tightly protected, so they say, against potential attacks, because absolutely this would be a prime target for attack. Like when we've talked about a covert warfare scenario playing out, without a doubt, this would be one of those 1A targets. This would be one of the first targets that they might want to target. Just think about what would happen. This was actually built back in the 1930s during the Great Depression. And of course, Lake Mead, we've been talking about it. It's dipping below 30% filled, dipping below 30%. And, you know, I've had the feeling for a while, shared it with you guys months and months ago, that this August I would expect some potential events to occur. As, you know, it's been crazy warm already. It's obviously been record warm, and that's been going on in many areas since June, with, you know, records falling since June. And here we see, well, make of it what you will, AOC, Ilhan Omar, and 15 other Dems arrested near the Supreme Court during an abortion rights protest. Oh boy, you want to talk about a photo op. Do you want to talk about a photo op? Capitol police officers escorted lawmakers away from the intersection to process their arrests, according to multiple reporters at the scene. The officers arrested a total of 35 people, including 17 members of Congress. Here you go. See? Hands behind the back. She's making a statement, is she not? She's making a statement. She's taken one for the team, as is Representative Omar there. Arrested. Let's look. Let's look.
She's a senator or she's a house member. Yeah. House leader? Yeah. No.
Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. She doesn't have any bracelets on. Why are you walking with your hands behind your back, holding your bandana or whatever that is? A little protest sign. And I don't see. No. Mm-mm. Hello. Nope. No bracelets on her. She doesn't have any restraining jewelry on her. So why does she have her hands behind her back? Well, you know, AOC must. Boy, she's smiling. She must, you know. Let's see. Let's see if we got something else. We could get a better angle. Do you see any handcuffs? Uh-oh.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, you beat me to it. I wanted to do that sound.
It's my sound.
As we've been saying all along, politicians are actors. They're actors. They're nothing but actors. In fact, she did the old fist bump. Hey guys, I'm here for you.
Indeed. And I can just hear so many people saying, see, it's happening. The arrests are happening. Not.
Well, like this post says, maybe she thinks she's back in first grade. You got to walk with your hands behind your back. Wait for the teacher to say, okay, you can sit down now, children.
There's a lot of things that can be said about what we learn in first grade and how to behave.
Absolutely. So, as we see 46 poised to declare climate emergency to ram through the green agenda. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, this is in concert with the UN, the WEF. I mean, these they all go together. They're all on the same team. They're all playing by the same script. And this is Jen Stoltenberg. Citizens of NATO countries should stop complaining about the cost of supporting Ukraine.
Yes, it is extremely important that we as politicians make sure that our countries provide support to Ukraine. And not only provide support to Ukraine, but provide substantial support to Ukraine for a long time. And that will have a price. Part of the price, the sanctions are important, but also, of course, the military support, but also the humanitarian support, the economic support, that has a price. But the price of not supporting them is much higher. So of course, yes, it has a price. But not to act and just let that brutality continue and let that brutality of Russia be awarded is for me a higher price.
Yet when we look at what has been done, again, you know, I don't know if you guys have seen, we've shown it before. When you look at where NATO was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And at that point in time, red lines given about, what would be unacceptable. And yet NATO kept expanding, to the point where the red lines were crossed. All these red lines have been crossed. They've been out there, and they were crossed. And so then Russia acts. But of course, it's again part of the script. Because we could go back to good old Albert Pike, who was talking about 3 world wars over 100 and just about 150 years ago. The outline of 3 world wars. But we also know there's been others that have echoed that. And we do know that war is an amazingly useful tool. When we've shown just how the discretionary budget doesn't matter whether it was under 46, 45, Obama, Bush, Clinton, it's always been at least 50% weapons of mass destruction, weapons of war waged against humanity. We need to start realizing all these weapons, all these militaries, all these police forces, the primary job is to keep humanity in check.
And they have a lot of devices. They've given us a lot of really handy technologies too that is going to be used to police us. And all along we've been giving away our information. We've been giving away our sovereignty. It's just really time to put our foots down and take it right back.
Absolutely. And again, create a war in a spot where it's going to cause the most damage to a lot of people at a time when all sorts of food processing plants are going up in flames. All sorts of weather warfare is going on, wiping out crops and, just washing away crops and homes. And then also implement all these green policies, going to basically confiscate farms from farmers all over the place. It's been ongoing and paying farmers to not produce. And that's still ongoing, even though we have a famine looming. The problem is the leadership is the problem. They're the ones that gotta go. They gotta go. They gotta go. They gotta go. Go. So, Jens, just hit the road, Jack.
Please don't come back.
No more.
We're done.
That's it. The James Webb Space Telescope gave us these amazing first images. Amazing. This was placed up into orbit. And it's like you always get somebody that says something like placed into orbit as if there is space. LMAO. It's like, oh my gosh. Somebody they burned all their brain cells. There's no brain cells left there. It's sad but true, and here we have a meteor impact that left uncorrectable damage to the Webb telescope's mirror. But fortunately, engineers had planned for this, and it will go on. And giving us some interesting images. This just grosses me out. I don't know what you guys feel about this. Artificial womb successfully grew lamb fetuses, could help prematurely born babies. When I see this, I think about alien abductions and bodies that are in these stasis containers. It's just...
Well, it's one of those things where when we are finally shown information like this, this technology, this has been around for so long. It's been perfected. It's been used. And they're pretending that, this just came out. What a wonderful thing. No, this is just a really creepy thing. And it's hard to look at for sure.
How hot is it? Well, the heat is on in more ways than one. Actually, it's so hot. It's driving Elon to drink.
Yeah, he's gonna make other people drink too.
Yeah, he's being driven to drink on the boat at the beach. Yep. What can you say? He's just escaping on his yacht. Mm-hmm. He does look kind of miserable, but man, Well, some people, I guess, that's what they got to do. They got to do what they got to do. And as this says, become ungovernable. Escape this prison planet. This guy he's got a plan. And he's executing.
You know, this is what we're saying all along. Become a big pain in the butt.
Absolutely. Where there is a will, there is a way. Do you have the will?
We're going to have to climb new mountains to all new heights, but we can do it.
Can you do what this little guy has done? He's done the unthinkable.
It's pretty amazing. It's just so adorable.
Absolutely. As always, guys, thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Make sure you share and wake up as many as possible. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.